Hey, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining in. We're back for another episode of Control the Narrative podcast. I'm your host, Vernon Johnson, and I got a special guest for you guys. We got the lovely, the beautiful Nicole Vegas. Let the people know, let the
Thank
people
you.
know who you are and what you do.
Just thank you so much for taking the time to have me on your show, first of all, and connect with me. So that's really important. I just started, I guess, showbiz 2 years ago. I do have a bio up on my IMBD page, Nicole Butler Vegas. I'm kind of now stuck with the Vegas name. A lot of people only know me by Nicole Vegas. I didn't realize that in the industry. If whatever's on your Facebook, people are going to call you that. Well, I didn't realize that. And to separate your personal Facebook with your actor's page. There's a
Yeah,
lot of do's and don'ts in this industry, and this is my 2 year mark this month.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to do.
Yeah, I
Sometimes we sometimes we find ourselves juggling two lives. How do you manage to juggle like?
obviously you know I'm not. I wanted to. I was like, this week it's just because there was so much going on, my family life, and then also there was the Days of the Dead event where I had kind of like two booths in one because I'm doing a producing for Desert Queens, which we are filming here next month, March 26th to April 6th. People
Okay.
could still get involved. We still have the campaign going into demand. I think it's like 92,000 and some change. First one, so I didn't know if it was gonna take off or not take off. Uh, so the IMBD page, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but you can always type in all the people in showbiz to see what they've done.
So what you probably don't know is I'm a filmmaker. I'm an independent filmmaker. I got my bachelor's degree in digital film. So in my spare time, I make films. That's what I do.
But
So that's why
are you have an IMBD page that says Vernon Johnson?
I had one. I can reactivate it, but I know what IMDb is all about. It's about showing the projects that you worked on and the credits that you have in the film industry, right? And that's important for people to know and know that about you. So if you guys are on that website, just follow Nicole Vegas, and you can see all the stuff she worked on. Can you name a couple of projects that you worked on recently that people can get familiar with your work?
Well, there was one with Mark Wahlberg, but they have it something different on there. But I can share with you off this because I think they are finished filming, so it should be okay. Should
Okay.
it? Could I? Okay, I'm just gonna pull it up. There's too much. It was on Move Me No Mountain. It was filmed here. Uh, where is it? I'm just gonna pull it up. Got to be on CSI. That was fun.
Oh, you
Or
was
Rescue.
on CSI?
Seconds though, only featured background because in this industry, I think you have to get SAG. I'm SAG eligible, and I've been fighting back and forth. A lot of people do it. They're like, don't do it. And then there's FICOR where you could work union, non-union. I just don't know. If you do SAG, then you submit your package to the LA talent agent. So only one could pick you up though. It's one of those things. So I have to figure that out. Like, do I go that direction? I just didn't know I was going to stay in this. I just wanted a little bit of experience, but they keep hooking me in and reeling me in. They keep on getting me.
I mean, you look like a star,
It's such
and
interesting look, isn't it? Because anything I've ever done before that, I had people come up to me like, "You don't fit in here. You don't look like you fit in here." Like that's a story of my life.
yeah, but that's actually a good thing because a lot of us don't fit in, and that's what God created. God created you different, and God created you unique, right?
Yes.
So when you walk in the room, you're a room shaker. So you have to get used to that, Miss Vegas.
Yeah, noisemaker. I have Cade, the Tortured Crossing. I'm trying to look at the one that was with Mark Wahlberg. It is something else. They had it Holiday Road, but it's not that anymore. They changed it to a different. Let me just look here. It's the family plan. So if you look up the family plan, you'll see me still on the top 10 list. It's only because the star meter. The star meter changes every week, which I really hate. I'm like refreshing on every Sunday. I'm like, what's happening? I don't know if you're familiar, but that's how people track you. And the
Right.
more it is, I think that's when people want to have you on their sets because then you will have their following. And they need a following to put attention on their feature films.
So say if someone wanted to book you for to play in their film or a commercial or anything like that, how would they go about doing that?
Email, and then also show what they have too, because there's a lot of people that they're new and they're like, well, I want to do my first feature film, can you help out? And that having one of those, it's so much time, money, energy, and if they haven't done enough, I mean, why should I bring all my work that I've been busting my butt for with somebody that hasn't done any work? They have to do their work too, because that's a lot of work. Like, oh well, I don't know, but they've been in it like 10 years. I tell people, not just I have Julie Goldman casting out here, phenomenal. So if you're ever this way and give me a heads up, and there's opportunities to be on a set, I will send you her information. Basco Talent Agency, pretty cool too. But besides the shorts and the feature films and the commercials, I learned some stunts, crew side, PA, slate, little bit of grip. There's so much in that avenue, producing. And then I have a Vegas Views talk show. And through social media shows, network, so red carpet events, doing interviews. I think if you do a little bit of everything, you might burn yourself out, but eventually it'll come to light and all that work will come into fruition.
Right. I agree with you. The thing about doing everything is you may burn yourself out only if you're not passionate about it, right? Because it won't feel like a job if it's your passion. And two, you will always have a job, right?
Being resourceful. If they can, and they can see you helping out on set. So I paid attention. I see how people are like, well, that's not my job. But if you see someone struggling, that's just me. I like help them out. I mean, there'll be a turn where you're going to be struggling too. I think that comes full circle.
Right. So you threw out a lot of film terminologies, on-set terminologies for people who may not know what that is, right? See, I know what a grip is. I started off as a grip.
You did?
Very fun job. I was a grip on Scream. The last Scream, not this one that's in New York, the last Scream that was filmed in North Carolina. And it's a fun job. You know, you're behind the scenes, you're moving a lot. You do a lot of work, but it's fun, right? For the people that don't know, explain to them what a grip is and what a grip does.
Oh my gosh. Well, I only did a little bit, but it has to do with lighting and the way it's set up. You have to have it illuminated in different areas, or there's shadowing. I always see it with the boomstick. You know, they got to watch out, or the reflections. I mean, there's all different. I had a very little bit of experience with that, but they have Jeremy Settles that has got films out here. He has his whole grip truck. He has a studio. People are ready to rock and roll. So when they're like, oh, I need somebody, at least I've worked with enough people where I can kind of redirect them to the people and the resources they need. And that part's important.
Right. It is. And by the way, that was a good job explaining what a grip does. Yeah. That's exactly what they do. They create lighting. The lighting moves on a set that the cinematographer, the director, and director of photography go over in pre-production, right? So that's what they mainly do. They get a shot sheet and a production guide, just like everybody else on set. So it's not an easy task, but it's not hard even if you're passionate about it. It's fun. So just to segue into the next thing, you're a mom, right?
Yes, that's my role of life. I've been raising children for 25 years.
Right. What do your kids think of their mom being on the big screen? How is that for them? You know,
well, they haven't seen me with the things that they haven't seen. I have a stepson I raised for 25 years. I was 19 when I came into his life. He was almost 4. He's 28 now. He's a pilot in the Air Force. Saw mom maybe once a year. And then we have a 22-year-old that we're heading out next week to see him graduate from Marine boot camp. That was a task in itself. Yeah. And then we have a 11-year-old, almost 12. And that was the last one because there's always one. There's always one that will question everything about yourself and challenge you. But he's mellowing out now at his age. Goodness. We're actually going to go get his head cast from Eric Yoder coming up next week. Besides the Marine boot camp, he's going to get that silicone casting that looks real life, because he has a scene in this Desert Fiends And the parents say stay in the car. Guess what? There's going to be consequences. You got to stay in the car. Listen to your parents. They tell you to stay in the car for something. So it'll be a lesson learned for maybe if kids watch it. Or scarring. They'll have nightmares. They'll remember back when they were younger and watched this film. And yeah.
By you being so busy, right? And a lot of people in this industry and the entertainment industry in the whole have an issue with keeping a relationship or keeping a relationship interesting, especially if their significant other isn't part of the industry. How do you manage your relationship with your husband, with being a mom and also an aspiring actress and a worker in the film industry?
I've been with Kevin 25 years. It's a quarter of a century. I don't get any trophy outlets. Where's my coin? I get nothing. He does Homeland Security, so he's quite busy too. He helped a lot on the set with the pre-production so far, and I like that he's able to go directly because he helps run the airport. So any of the talent that is coming off the airplane, he can come and get them, take them right to the luggage. I only have that in Vegas, so I've been very connected here for the last 18 years. So I don't know. We go hiking. We're going to do some fun. We're going on a ski trip when I get back with my son. He only has 10 days. So we do family time. We travel. Sometimes we cook for each other. He's actually the cook. So a lot of people don't like to eat my food after 25 years. I was really bad in the beginning. Chocolate milk with the mac and cheese. I ran out of the regular milk.
Right.
But
a lot of people don't get to hear about or even see that part of the entertainment industry from individuals that are part of it, as being a real human being, as being a mom, a wife.
Well, I have my moments. I do self-reflect. Like, I could have handled that better. I could handle. I get sort of. I acted out before Maria Preza on social media shows. And she's like, Nicole, you're human. Finally, I don't see the robot side. It took 2 years to crack me a little bit. But I try to have that military bearing and be very professional and don't let things get to me, especially if it's out of my control. What can I do? But then people dump a lot of their emotions on me from all different directions. It's constant. And that part they don't teach you in the showbiz is how many people and how to deal with them with the flow of it. It's a lot of flow. And I'm at this, I think, D-rated. I don't know what I am, actor. I don't even know what I am. I just know I'm in it. And trying to figure the area I need to work in most, and but they don't tell you that flow. It's like, oh, I was like, okay, no breathe. There's like no time out. Sometimes you just gotta. And then when you get home, I had that like that sliced neck thing from the Days of the Dead. The girl did my makeup. Happening. Yeah, she did really good. And then Brett Wagner, he's gonna be in our feature film. He's Leatherface. He did FaceTime, and I was like this. So I was like, I can't even take my makeup. I'm so tired. I just want to sit there. But even if you're physically not doing something, it's still people coming in, want to talk to you. And obviously I didn't juggle that well so far this week. I can only get better maybe next week.
I love Leatherface. I love Leatherface.
You do? So
I love it.
You love him?
I love it. I like the older ones, but when they remade it, the newer one, it totally blew me away. I really believe it. I know it's based off a true story, but it really pulled me into the story as a really good story.
So right? He has it's 666 perk, of course, because it's a horror film. I have a friend that bought one because he wants to get killed by Leatherface. But in this role on Desert Fiends, it's called Papa. He's Papa something else. But we'll leave that to Sean C. Phillips to share the rest of his name.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love it. Let me ask you, did they ever catch him in real life?
I don't know. I didn't do any of the homework history.
I hope so, right?
There's always new ones coming about. You do have to be vigilant, and you have to check on people with their mental health, especially in this industry. I feel like a lot of people are alone.
Absolutely.
I'm a team player. Like, hey, if you need anything, I'll help you out, but not at the expense of my family. I won't do that anymore. I used to do it all the time, and I can't do that. Family first, and then the friends in film. They have to be taken care of.
Right. How can you participate in raising awareness
I have nonprofits. Randarius, his name is. If you check him, I can send you his information. He wrote a book. He's amazing. I met him a couple of years back at the gym when he was just starting off. And he has shirts that the world wouldn't spin the same without you. And he really reaches out with suicide prevention and awareness. His name's Randarius. I know his first name, Randarius.
Okay. No worries. That's okay. That's what we're going to call him.
Yeah, he's really and then there's a lot of other nonprofits too, like Shade Tree out here for battered women. They'll help you do the Dress for Success and teach you some skills for a job. 3 Square Meal, the Just One Project for Humanities. I think the Give Tribe, that's with Nino Galloway. They have Monday's Dark out here, where once a month they'll pick a nonprofit and give $10,000 to. And they perform a lot of shows. That's how they fundraise and everything. So there's a lot of different ways to be part of it. If you need bus passes, food, medical, dental, type in the nonprofits in your area and they should pop out. And eventually you will come to somebody that will be able to connect you to those resources. So that part is very passionate.
Okay. What's your favorite genre of film?
I like horror. That is my favorite. But I don't get scared by it. I like horror and action and war.
Okay. Top 5 horror films.
So the ones that are from the 80s more would be Pumpkinhead. I like Witchboard. There's a whole bunch of them that I like the Ghoulies. I like the Evil Dead 2. The newer ones, I think it's 13 Ghosts I like too. That was an older one. That was pretty creepy with the ghosts, like you put the glasses on and then you see them and then you can't. That stuff is cool. So, and then like the wartime one, like Saving Private Ryan. I do feel bad for Tom Sizemore. I did try to call him yesterday, went straight to voicemail. So I am hoping he's doing okay because he had an aneurysm.
Yeah, shouts out to him and him getting better.
Yeah, so hopefully it will be something that's a blessing in disguise, and then he gets better and can be on the right path there. Yeah.
Who was the biggest name you ever worked with?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart?
Yes, it's back on the strip, and it'll be in April. So you'll see it on, if you go on the IMDb, I have a scene with him.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a great note. He comes up. It's a really funny scene, too. So
share the link with me when you get the opportunity to share the link.
Well, just all you have to do is type the back on the strip on IMDb. You'll see Kevin Hart, Tiffany Hash. There's a whole bunch of talent on there, and I got very fortunate through Julie Goldman to work with him. That was my second Taft Hartley. It was fun, but it was hot outside. It was really hot, but he's really funny. He just says whatever he has to say. Good guy, though. Very personable. People. But he's like, I hate people. Sometimes I'm like, I bet you do. Because you get barmaid. I was paying attention. You don't get that. Because everybody's excited. They never get to meet people that they see on TV. So you have to, when you get seasoned, I think you got to take a step back and remember where it started and why people are getting so excited getting to finally meet you. Right. He was really taking pictures with the kids. It was a birthday party scene. For a kid birthday party scene.
I got a quick story. I'm from Philadelphia, right?
I'm
from Philadelphia. Yeah, I played high school basketball against Kevin Hart. The power forward from my team is Kevin Hart's best friend. Right? He's in Kevin Hart's first movie, Laugh at My Pain. He's with Kevin Hart's name is Adam Brown. So I met Kevin Hart before Kevin Hart was Kevin Hart, and always a funny guy. Didn't know he was going to be what he is today. He's from North Philadelphia, and that's great that you're working with him. He's a good guy, man.
But I didn't know because, you do have to start off, unless nepotism or something. You have to start off background. That's where you get your groundwork in. And it was really amazing because the scenes and everything like that and the angles. So I just wanted out. It's supposed to be out in January, but now when I looked, it's going to release in April. Wow. I don't care if I'm in there for, I guess, a second. Because even if they film you for a lot, I found out they can edit the heck out of you or edit you completely out. Yeah, I'm looking. I'm still cast. I'm like, did they uncast me? I'm like, did they? I had to add CSI. I'm like, oh, I can't believe it. I was like, so I shared it with everybody. They had it with Murray the Magician. He's out here. So I had scenes with him on season 1, where like seeing an accident happen and guys running through. I had different scenes and I got to be background detective too. So there's maybe that's why, because they couldn't use me for two different. I had a gray dress, and then now I'm a detective. I think
Right.
they continuity purposes. So maybe I was just done. They couldn't particularly use me in different scenes, just like in that Mark Wahlberg have a scene with them specifically. So when I came back on, they're like, "You're, they had back in my head the whole time in a ponytail, something different. They couldn't show you continuity."
Did you interact with Mark Wahlberg?
Yes, he came up. I'm not going to say what though, but yeah.
I mean, how was his
Oh,
persona?
him and the star next to him, Michelle Mahan. Everybody on that set was amazing. They were so good to everybody. They were so kind. Good energy. I got to talk to everybody on that set. Really good people. I love that energy. So I'm hoping it's not always like that on these sets, but that set I would love to be part of. I don't care if I was PA or not, just because of the vibe of the people. Really cool.
Yeah, I love Mark Wahlberg. He's one of my favorite actors. One of my favorite movies that he was in was The Town, the one he shot in Boston about the bank robberies.
Yes.
That was
Um,
one.
I I just remember Fear. I watched him in Fear, that
I
movie
watched
Fear.
that. He's one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite actors. He's one of my favorite actors, and I really enjoy his films. Let him know I enjoy his films, and I need him on the show.
Let's tell him he's in Vegas. So, I mean, if I would connect with Julie Goldman. She does casting out. That's the opportunity. She gives so many opportunities to the talent out here, and you never know who you're going to work with.
Right, and it's
Actually, though, you go SAG, and then you submit to the talent, and then they will submit you to the role, so you have principal roles. Unless they really like you, then they'll bump you with whatever they think they like on a specific look, which I didn't know. When I first started, they're like, "Oh, you have a look, ready? I'm going to do this." What do you mean look? I don't know. I was like a little defensive because anything I've ever done in my history of my life had to be based on more skills. Not they could care less about the look. But then when I started acting classes, really horrible. Just so I was like, "What's that look now? What?" Let's start there because it was took a lot of acting classes from a lot of different acting coaches because you do need to know the lingo. Because I was on that. My first set was the cleaning lady.
right. Okay.
That was my first Taft Hartley. And they paired me with this young kid. And I did say it. I was like, "Is this a cougar scene?" I'm really confused. I don't know what's going on. And then they're like, "You have to go to Mark 2, reset, go to 3. You know what they're saying to me. So I told that young man, I won't say kid, but he is a kid to me. I said, "Don't even get fresh with me. I'm your mother's age," because it gave me like smoldering look. I said, "But I'm going to hold your arm because I have no idea what they're saying to me." 12 hours out of Dre's nightclub, freezing cold. It was so cold out there. I was like, I didn't realize the environment on these sets. It's so misleading when you're new. I didn't know anything. So I'm like, and that's why it can be extreme hot, cold, 16, 18-hour days. It's grueling. No one tells you that stuff.
No.
Like a heads up. I'm like, what is this? But they did like the look, and but it was like cameras and look over here. I was like, whoa. You're holding that glass around. I'm like, take some acting classes. Know the lens. Is it wide? Is it up close where you can't really be dramatic? You have to. It's more in the face and the voice and all that. In the eyes, they always like the. But I'm learning. It's like sink or swim. I don't feel like jungle anymore, so I'm okay.
I mean, you got to do more stuff like this. People want to see you. People want to talk to you, or feel like they talking to you. More public relations.
That's I've been doing it. It's just sometimes I have other things going on and I just can't. I missed one before. Remember on Monday, I couldn't do Monday because I took from 9 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. I took Sean C. Phillips and showed him all the locations I locked down in person, which was really important. And then we talked to David Rodriguez that does sound. He's like 14 Emmys. We need good sound. When you're on a feature film, that sound better be crisp.
Wow. Yes, it is. Sound is important as important as the visual.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of that. It's everybody doing their part. And if you have someone because they really want to be doing the part but they can't. I have AD right now first that we need. And we're like, well, I have AD first. I looked up on IMDb. I go in shorts. So this is like 100 plus like casting. I was like, no way. You need somebody that has that background for that because it falls back. If you're not, you have apps now, so they need to make sure that, they have the sites printed out for the people, the location out, the hospital, the weather, everything has to be on there, prepping them for the next scenes coming up, because they help coordinate everything on that set. Very imperative. We have a second AD, but that first one needs to have extensive feature film background experience.
So it sounds like you want to be a director.
No, I'm not directing. That's Sean C. Phillips. I am just helping produce it right now. But
you sound like you can be a good one. Don't shy away from your calling.
Down the road, if I get the opportunity to help out that way, but like I have to still know a little bit more. I feel like I have an idea, but I don't want to jump the gun and then have it be a crap show because I'm not aware of the dynamics or the process of especially being a director. That's something completely different than producing AD work, because you're setting up the scene, and they have to be careful too with that continuity. I see it all the time on those movie sets or the TV series. I'll rewind them, like that jacket fell off, that car's gone. I pick up on it, the attention to detail. I don't know why, but I'm really now focused on making sure that it is, precise. Take pictures, because if we have to do it for a couple days in the same scene, which is that concert scene, I'll be taking pictures of everybody and the release forms too. They'll be taking pictures with themselves with the release forms. We're going to document everything.
You have to. It's important. So if you had an opportunity to work with anybody in the film industry, whether it's director, actor, actress, or both, who would those persons be?
It would be Bruce Willis. I like Bruce Willis. But he's done now with acting. I would have grabbed him like this. Ready? This would be Bruce Willis. I'd be like, shh.
Why Bruce?
Why? Because I watched Die Hard. I like his action movies when he always plays the good guy. He had a family with his ex-wife now, and he still kept it there. He was always present for his children, as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong with that. It looked like it in the image. Just like that, he seemed like a simple guy, but he could step it up and be the hero of the show. I like that kind of thing. He seemed to just easygoing. He's all like, or there's other what is that one? Sin City.
Say it again.
Sin City. Do you know that one? It's called Sin City. Jessica Alba.
The one that's where the aesthetic of the film is like a comic book.
Got the bad dog acting up.
It's Noir. It's in Noir. It has a Noir aesthetic, Noir, where it has a dark shadow and it looks like a comic book. I love Sin City. It's one of my favorite movies from Bruce Willis. Yeah.
He did really good. He had a bad ticker in it, and he's trying to protect. And there's some yellow creature in it that I got to meet at one of the Days of Dead event. I forget, but
you got to meet the yellow creature.
Yeah, he's a yellow creature. So there was like on Terminator, I think 3, John in the future. There was something, but he was playing that creature, and I said, "You were so gross." He just laughed at me. I was like, you usually just get called that. I forgot the guy's name. It's on my IMDb page. I'm like, "You are disgusting," and he could have. Oh yeah, thank you, Kevin. This guy. He goes, "You're welcome," because I was like, "You are." I said, "You're so disgusting." I said, "Ah." So I forget this guy, but he's in a lot of movies and stuff that.
Oh wow. Yeah, he's creepy. He's creepy.
I was like, that one. I was like, I mean, just really putrid and disgusting. And that's all I can think about. I mean, but his rest of the movies, I was like, oh, but those other ones are great, but that one, you're gross. I'm like, and that's why he's like, he didn't know what to think. He's like, "You're welcome." He didn't. He was really. It's a public relations lady that was there when I was telling her before he was on break. He goes, "Oh no, you have to come back. Everything you just said to me, share with him. He'll get a kick out of it." It's gross though. I don't have a filter. I just whatever, but in a nice way. But and he smelled in this movie. They said it smelled like the worst putrid thing. So if you ever see Sin City,
yeah, I saw it.
He takes advantage of a 9-year-old girl. Yeah, gross.
Was that his smell, or did they need that for the fact?
I don't know, but they kept talking about it. So that was one of the grossest characters I ever came across while watching film. There's a couple other ones, but that one just stuck out with me. And I'm glad I met him in person because I'm like,
right.
Cool actor. Yeah.
Are you good with log lines? Do you know how to create a log line on the fly?
That's the one. Nick Stahl. Thank you so much. Nick Stahl. that guy. That's the guy I told him he was really gross.
Right.
I bet he's over it now. He's fine.
So I got a 3-part question for you.
Okay.
So, what would be the perfect genre of film starring Bruce Willis and Nicole Vegas?
Could it be some kind of ghost town horror action scene? Western, because I haven't done a Western yet. So all I want to do is catch on fire on my arm, because I've had that training, and get thrown through a window.
Oh, wow.
Am I asking for too much from anybody to just, I have my own insurance. I'll sign anything away. Partial on fire and push me through a Western old town tavern window. With Bruce Willis, if he would let me.
Nicole Vegas does her own stunts.
Yes, wow. I've been trained on it. So we would have to have a stunt coordinator on there, and they would have to make sure that the safety and I'm getting what I'm supposed to do, because especially when it has to do with fire or going through a breakable glass, that part's important to me. And I have bottle smashing coming up on Sean C's. I'm going to smash somebody else over the bottle. And his name is Tony Fincham. He signed up. It's breakable glass. I gotta make sure they don't put any real ones in there though. I'm like, why isn't this breaking?
So second part, what would the title be?
Something with desertion. It has to be something with deserted. Well, I don't know what the title. I'll have to really think. I never thought it through. Something with desertion, but something to take from whatever place we are filming a ghost town in. So desertion, mines, like maybe the mining area could be something haunted. Something where it would put a spotlight a little bit, like they have Nelson's Ghost Town.
Okay.
Out here, and they have a Calico Ghost Town. So something with their history that could put in there to intertwine that and have some kind of good connection. It would have to be something that would connect with something history and maybe something horrible. So there'd be a truth where people could look it up and then find something horrible about that area that would spook them out.
How about the log line?
Say it again.
The log line?
The log line. Yeah, maybe there, but that's I'm not writing it. It has to be somebody else's script. I'm not a writer. Okay. It's like Dr. Seuss, the hat is big. The hat has a wig. I don't know. Nothing. Not a writer.
Beautiful woman leaves her husband.
Yeah.
Meets an outlaw who's on a run for murdering the sheriff of the town.
She tries to take him in and save him.
Right.
Well, and then she crossfires.
We need funding. Right now.
Yeah, that's a most important part too. So copyright script. Okay. Make sure that they do have a decent background that shows some kind of work history, and then the funding part. Because I think if you get some names attached too, we haven't shared like the really big names in this Desert Fiends. It really helps, and I think people like to be on different types of productions, especially when it's something interesting. So now that I know that you've wrote and directed and have a talk show, see. Lot of in different areas. I think definitely I will be on the lookout too for you for anything that I have here. So if you do say, hey, I'm looking for this specifically, I will put it out there and hopefully connect you to the people and the resources so you can make some movie magic.
I appreciate that. And
this is the easy interview. Wait till the next one. I'll be like, okay, let's.
The next one's gonna be in person.
Oh, the next one. Oh, if you ever, are you going to be out here? I'm going to come out there?
I can. We can make it. We can make that happen.
Well, there's a lot of big events, so maybe something with the red carpet for Desert Fiends. They're going to it's like about 2 weeks. They're going to work really hard, put the trailer on, and then start working on it because I want to have the red carpet event out here at the Galaxy Theater with the Getty's Images photography and a couple talk shows so they can do some interviews. And then I want to submit to film festivals, which Neil Patel Films. I've worked with him before. He's actually having Bollywood, Hollywood, Las Vegas. I'm one of the judge on panels. It's all in your connection. It's just connecting with people that are like-minded, that has that mindset to get things done.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
No, I can tell. I know. You're like, let's go now. I'm like,
let's go now.
After April 6th, because my brain is been mushed for a little bit.
That's fine.
I had to share it to Desert Fiends here. And I also have, you see that? And people, wait up, like they can scan it.
Hold on. Let me scan it. Let me scan it to let them know what's going on. Hold on.
I do it on this, like this. Can you see it?
I got it. I got it right now. Yeah.
Like, isn't it kind of cool to have it like that? Yeah. And then you could, help you with yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Desert Fiends.
If there's a way to come out, we'll talk afterwards after I get this next upcoming interview.
Okay. Now you're locked. We got you locked in. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really cool. Thanks for connecting with me, and I'll do my best with whatever's going on too. You could share on Vegas Views, or share in the storyline. I just like to connect people to others that are in showbiz or have a business or maybe need support or they're running an upcoming project and they want to get it done. I'm excited. My goal, global. Wow. I'm on UK acting page. Go to the UK acting page. Start connecting with other people in India. There's so many people in different areas that want to connect too, as well with here in the States.
Okay, I'm all for it. I'm here for the ride.
Oh, you better buckle up. It's a crazy ride. It's not like it looks like it's smooth. Nah, it's like terrifying sometimes. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is yeah. I'm like, woo wee. Yep.
All right, before we end the show, can you let people know where to find you and also what live events you got coming up so they can meet you in person and support your event?
Oh, thank you. Right now, Nicole Vegas on Facebook. I also am on Vegas Views through my talk show, Social Media Shows Network with Maria Preza. Go through Social Media Shows Network to sign up for the interviews through her. We are able to travel for red carpet events. Then I have my, I think Instagram, which I have to use now because sometimes I get restricted on Facebook because I add too many people and they restrict me. I'm like, I added 20 today and they restrict me. So it's Nicole_Butler Vegas. Check out my IMDb, Nicole Butler the 9th. But if you check Google, married into it, Nicole Butler Vegas. Google and be like, oh, look at this. Some stuff popped up. I didn't know until I Google me. So I was like, well, let me Google me. And I'm like, oh, things pop up. Yeah.
Like I said, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming on the show. Guys, Nicole Vegas. Check her out on all social media platforms. Check out her films. Check out her IMDb page. She's doing great things. Thanks for showing love. I appreciate you. One of my first responders, Nicole Vegas. Thank you guys for listening to Control the Narrative. I'm your boy, Vernon Johnson. We here to control the narrative. Thanks for listening, guys.
We're like, yeah.
If you rolling dumb proof, holler through the sunroof. I couldn't be a cornball if I want to. And you can get involved if you want to.